activities. So let's say that let's start with what is needed to have in a brokerage office. So in a brokerage office, you must have an entrance sign. That's something that you must have, an entrance sign. So if an escrow fund are held by the title company, what you must do? The license must name the title company on the sale contract. So an escrow fund are held by the title company. Title company. So the license, the responsibility of the license is to name the title company on a sale contract. On the sale contract. So basically, when you have an escrow fund held by the title company, the responsibility of the license is to name the title company on the sale contract. You must have that by written. So another important thing is what is the penalty? The penalty. So the penalty for unwillful, unfair, fraudulent transaction. Transaction, no, advertising. According to Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practice. According to the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practice, the penalty for making a fraudulent advertising is a civil penalty no more than $10,000, of course. So another important term in the brokerage activity is kickback. What is a kickback? It's it's the money paid to the broker for the purpose of provide sorry about this provide a service during a real estate transaction. So where a trust fund should not where a trust fund should not be deposited. Never ever ever in a broker business account. Never you can deposit a trust fund in a broker business account. That's not even legal. So what is the time that a broker has to deposit a trust fund? According to the Florida real estate law, broker has 3 days to deposit that fund. So if an escrow account record shows a negative balance, what must a broker do? So if an escrow account is negative, what must the broker do? I would say note the cause and corrective action must be taken and correct the action. So a broker have not violated a Florida antitrust law if they meet with another brokerage to compare listing properties. So comparing listing properties is not legal. It's not illegal.
Ustedes trajeron la llave de la caja fuerte.
Sí.
Tú sabes que ella se me quedó allá. A ver, chica,
Yo creo que María lo tengo.
bueno, voy a ir.
So which of the following statement is false when a business entity wishes to register as a brokerage? So an entity cannot at least one active broker, sales associate as an officer, director, member, manager, or partner. The entity must have at least one active broker, but a sales associate may not be an officer, director, member, manager, or partner. So if you want to register an entity as brokerage, you don't have to have at least one active broker or sales associate as an officer, director, member, manager, or partner. That's completely false. The entity must have at least one active broker, but a sales associate may not be an officer, but a sales associate a sales associate have not to be have not to be a officer, director, member, manager, or partner. The only requirement that you have to open and register as a brokerage is to have an active broker. Everything else it's extra. You can have a sales associate, but they don't have to be an officer, director, member, manager, nothing like that. Just an active broker. So, if a sales associate role is working with a listing agreement that provides for a 7% commission, how much would Bob actually receive if the selling price is 200,000 and the buyer broker is receiving the half of the overall commission and Bob is to receive half of the broker employer's cut? So the 7% of 200,000, it's 14,000. So half of the buyer broker has 7,000. That's half, and the other half goes to broker who gives both half. So the other half goes to broker. So it's 350. That's the half of that. So an unlicensed associate may not unlicensed associate must not listing not sign listing agreement. So they cannot sign listing agreement. So if a broker receives a kickback, what must he or she do? So broker receive a kickback. So remember that the kickback it's the money that you use for a specific service during a real estate transaction. So if that happened to the broker, what he must disclose it all involved parties. So his responsibility is to disclose all the disclose all to the involved parties. So his responsibility is basically telling the people that are being involved in the transaction what is going on. So broker Sal sold an owner John home and is not being paid his commission. What type of line right does Sal have for the unpaid commission? So if you don't get a paid commission, you have no line right for the unpaid. Sal has no line right for the unpaid commission. So, if a broker conducts a business at a location other than the principal broker's office, what is the broker required to do? If the broker decides to go another location, decides to go other location, the broker must register the second location as a branch office. So Florida allows the brokers to deposit a personal funds into a sales escrow account. What is the limit of the personal fund? So limit of the money allowed to be deposited in an escrow account if a rental information list is provided for the fee and the tenant may be fully reimbursed for the fee unless the tenant claim no benefit if the tenant demand the refund after 60 days of paying the fee. So if you paid a fee as a tenant and you don't claim, tenant no claim after 60 days, they lose the fee refund. A sales associate may collect a commission directly from the seller only when his or employee consents. That's the only way they can work, if the employer allows it. If the seller wants to give you a commission and your boss, your employer, allows you to get it, you can get it and you have no problem. So which of the following is true rewarding a sales associate changing employer? So if you want to change from the company, the associate may not remove any record from the former employer office. So if you want to change your boss, your office, the place where you work, you don't have to remove your record from the former employer office. So move, sales associate wants to move, should not remove any records from the former employer office. So in what they believe was a smart business decision. Royal and Realty and Westcott Brokers have created a monopoly for real estate service in their small town of Brasilia. Is this what is needed a smart business decision? Why or why not? Not because it had violated the antitrust law. So, if you monopolize an area that's illegal, you can't do that. So basically, you can monopolize an area. So when monopolize an area, it's illegal. Okay, it's illegal. So when may an escrow account found be disbursed. So when the transaction is closed. So when the transaction is closed, when the transaction are closed, you can distribute the escrow account funds. Okay. So any broker who provides a rental information list is to a prospective tenant for a fee must provide for the repayment of a percentage of the fee under certain conditions. So the broker have to give a percentage. Have to give a percentage. Have to give a percentage to the tenant for the fee. So if there is a dispute involving the amount of the brokerage commission, what may the broker do rewarding the trust fund in associated escrow account? So if there is any conflict rewarding a commission, the commission must be retained until the dispute is resolved. That's the best solution and clear solution to deal with this situation. So what is not required as part of the minimum information to be included in a escrow account statement reconciliation? So you don't have to include the name of the depositors. That's unnecessary, not needed. So what is the broker monthly responsibility regarding all the escrow accounts? So the broker monthly responsibility role is to create a written statement of the abilities and bans. bans. So a trade name must not be used by the sale associate. So a trade name cannot be used by a sale associate. What? The Florida Antitrust Act of 1980 was enacted for the Florida Antitrust Act of 1980 was created to complement the federal antitrust laws. So violators of Florida antitrust law can be sued for recovery. Violators can be sued by 3 times the amount of the damage. So, which of the following entities cannot be registered as a brokerage? So, the corporate soul cannot be registered as a brokerage because they cannot, which is false. So all the advertising must include the brokerage phone number and image of the broker. That's completely erroneous. You don't need that. So brokers shall receive an under-table payment from Tom Home Inspection Service for recommending Tom to a home buyer. So Shad must tell everyone involved in the transaction about the payment if he doesn't want to get in trouble. So in addition, brokerage office are deemed as a branch office if additional brokerage office are deemed as branch office if they additional brokerage office are deemed as a branch office if all of them are in the same countries. So they are considered branch office. I can have one in Florida, another in Orlando if they are in the United States. If they are in the same country. So what is the statute limitation for filing any action claim in the antitrust law violation? So what's the period of time to file an antitrust law claim? What's the period of time? 4 years. You have 4 years to claim it. As a broker associate may be a business entity, officer, director, or partner if she or he operates to an active broker. So you can be a broker associate But in order to have a business entity of a director or partner, you need to update to an active broker. You will not be anymore a broker associate. So if a broker registered office is located outside Florida, which of the following is correct? The broker must personally appear at the office of the FRAC if the request in relation to an investigation. So Florida allows brokers to deposit personal funds into property management escrow account. So you can have in your escrow management management escrow account $5,000. That's the limit, but that's what you're allowed to have. If a Another question is, if a sales associate terminates his employment with a broker and becomes employed with another broker, what happens to the associate license? It is ceased to be enforced. A license should cease to be enforced whenever a broker changes her or his business address. A real estate school operating on the permit pursuant change its business address, or sales associate working for a broker or instructor working for a real estate school change employer. So it ceased to be enforced. So regarding a escrow account, which of the following is true? The broker has 30 days to correct any error. So an escrow account is very important. If you have any error, the broker has 30 days to fix it. And that's it for now.